Barcelona are knocked out of the Champions League. PSG wins 6-4 on aggregate. And what happened? I mean, that's the biggest question that I have right now. What happened? How did that transpire? Like, how did those events lead to that conclusion? I just don't understand. Well, we all know why. I mean, Araujo getting sent off with 65, 70 minutes to play. What are you doing? I mean, I feel bad because I'm sure Araujo, he knows it's also his fault. But still, I mean, there are just no excuses for that. That's such a horrible decision. And some people might go with the referee. Maybe that was soft, and maybe he missed that PK call and good one. But Barcelona, they have themselves to blame yet again in the Champions League. And you can't look for excuses. Barcelona, you cannot make a mistake like that. 4-2 up at home and get yourself sent off. Let him score. Let Barcola be one-on-one with Ter Stegen. 100% I will take that every day of the week. Then you're 4-3 up on aggregate at home. And you were outplaying PSG. I don't understand what the thought process was there. I don't understand. Again, I feel bad because I'm sure Araujo, some Barcelona fans are maybe going to turn on him. I don't think we should do that. But it's a terrible decision. I'm sure he knows it. I'm sure he feels bad about it. And that's where it went wrong for Barcelona, of course, because against a great team like PSG, you cannot play 10v11 for 70 minutes and expect a different result. That's what it comes down to. And it's not all on Araujo. Cancelo, what are you doing? I don't understand that. I've never understood that type of tackle there. When he's in the corner of the PK box, he's going nowhere. The pros of trying to win the ball there is you maybe poke it out for a throw-in or a corner kick. The cons is tackling him and getting a penalty. And what do you know? You get a penalty. What are you doing there? It's just like Barcelona, they easily could have went on to win this game. That's what makes it so terrible. I said, I feel worse now than I did at Anfield. Or not at Anfield, actually. That was maybe worse. The 4-0 was worse, sorry. I meant the 8-2 at Bayern. I feel worse now because, going up against Bayern, you had a feeling that Barcelona was probably going to lose because they were the worst team. But I don't feel like this. I don't feel like Barcelona were the worst team. Barcelona, they easily could have went on to win this tie, and they just have themselves to blame. They have a terrible mistake from Araujo, and then also Cancelo giving up a horrible penalty. Lewandowski easily could have went on to tie or put Barcelona in the lead. I don't remember. It's a 3-on-2. He's got two defenders in front of him. Joao Felix on his left, completely wide open. Ferran Torres on his right, wide open. Shoots it right at two defenders. I mean, that is so frustrating, and it's just, again, Barcelona, they have themselves to blame. There's no one else. Don't go with the referee. Don't, be mad at any PSG players. Barcelona easily could have won that game, but they ruined it themselves. And, that's unfortunate, but that's the reality. Barcelona easily could have went on to win this game, but they made mistakes, and they paid for them. And when that first goal went in, yeah, Barcelona were soaking up a lot of pressure, but they were playing well against PSG. They didn't give PSG that many good goal-scoring opportunities before Araujo got sent off, and it was just like a weird bounce. I don't even remember who lost the ball. But Barcola was one-on-one. And then Araujo, yeah, he's trying to act like it's a shoulder. Dude, it's a red card. Of course, Barcola was looking for that. He took a touch inside of you, which was smart. I mean, I would also do the same thing. I would take a touch inside of the defender. And if he fouls you, it's a red card. And if he doesn't, then you've completely cut him off. And now you're one-on-one with the keeper. Barcola did that. Yes, he was looking for the contact. But Araujo, you fell right into his trap. What are you doing? Again, I don't want to just nail at the same exact thing, but Araujo's got to feel terrible because, yeah, that's where the game changed. Barcelona were comfortable. They looked in a great position, 4-2 up at home. I've probably said that 5 times in this video already, but you're through to the semis. I mean, you are through to the semis as long as you don't make a terrible mistake. Araujo did just that. He did exactly what Barcelona needed not to do. I mean, again, I think I said it in the video before, but if you're 4-2 up at home, and you see someone go one-on-one with the goalkeeper, let him shoot that all day long. It's, maybe in the 95th minute, if you see him one-on-one with a keeper, yeah, take him out. But what are you doing with 70 minutes to play? And Araujo, all you had to do was this. Just go back, don't touch him. Yeah, and then probably Barcola would score. It actually looked like it was a bad touch, and Ter Stegen did come for it, so he might not have even scored, but we don't know. In the end, it should have easily just been 4-3 there. Then Barcelona feel comfortable. Yeah, they just got scored on, but they feel comfortable. Just pass the ball around, soak in some pressure, and then go score on the counter, like they did so well in the first leg. But when you're playing 10v11 against a team like PSG, you're going to pay for it, and Barcelona did, and they only have themselves to blame. Some people might talk about that substitution, taking Lamine Yamal off, who's been one of Barcelona's best players in the past couple months, for Inigo Martinez, but, I mean, Araujo forced Xavi's hand. I mean, if you would have just kept Frankie de Jong at center back, you think that would have worked? Absolutely not. I mean, you had to bring a center back on. It was either Lamine Yamal or Rafinha off, and Rafinha did so well. He had just scored a goal, and he's a much harder worker. He tracks back very well. You couldn't have taken him off in that moment. So that was all that Xavi had. I don't think it was the wrong decision. Some people were gonna slander him for that, but that was all he had. Araujo forced his hand, and again, it's really frustrating. I mean, Barcelona, they easily could have went on to win this game, and I've said it a bunch of times, but that's the one thing that can't happen. You cannot get sent off and hurt your team and make them work as hard as possible just to maintain a 2-goal lead. Dude, I'm getting frustrated, but you know what? Let's look at the positives. I think Barca still has a bright future in front of them. Hope you all are still having a great day. It's there's a lot of emotions in this sport, but hopefully, you all are doing okay. In the end, there's still a lot of great things going on in life. So don't let the game and everything, my frustration, just kind of play into it. But it's so unfortunate. Yeah, it's terrible from Barcelona, honestly. And like I've said, I want to say like 8 times in this video, they only have themselves to blame. Some people are going to talk about the referee. Yes, I think he did definitely miss a penalty. Gundogan looked like he got fouled from behind. I'm not sure how that didn't go to VAR. And there were some major decisions that the referee, he had to make. But, I mean, I didn't really blame him for making them, other than the Gundogan PK, because that was clear. I think he definitely missed that. And, yeah, that could have changed the game, but you're still a man down if you tie the game up. So, yeah, Barcelona, again, they have themselves to blame. And the big decisions, the red card, Araujo forced his hand. No referee wants to send a player off, with that long to go in a game, in a quarterfinal of the Champions League. No referee wants to make that decision, but Araujo, he forced his hand. He fell right into Barcola's trap, and it was the right decision. You can't take a man out 1v1 and outside of the box and expect to get away with it. And then Cancelo, I honestly have no words to explain what he was trying to do there, because the pros and the cons are so unbalanced. And obviously Dembele's gonna fall. He's gonna get the penalty. I just don't know what the players on the field were doing. That's in this tournament. I've said it's just small margins in the Champions League. Sometimes you can be the better team, but these small margins, these little tiny details, that they change the outcome of the game, and that's what it did in this game. I also feel bad for Xavi, because this is his last year as a Barcelona coach, and he easily could have made it to the semifinals for Barcelona. That would have been huge, a huge accomplishment, especially missing out on the knockout stages of the Champions League for the past 2 seasons. That could have been huge, and it was the players that let him down, because he set the lineup up perfectly. Obviously, if Christensen would have been available, if Roberto maybe would have been available, yeah, it could have been lined up differently. But with the players that he had, he lined it up perfectly. He executed his game plan so well. In the first leg, they consumed a bunch of pressure. They took their chances on the counter. That was how they were going to line up. I mean, and it was working very well. PSG had a lot of the ball, but they didn't have that many clear-cut chances. Barcelona had one opportunity to go to goal. They scored on it. Lamine Yamal with a great move. And it looks great. It looked 4-2 at home. And Xavi set it up so well. And just for one of his players, to make a mistake that big, again, I hope Araujo doesn't get slandered too bad. I hope he doesn't feel too bad about it. These things happen. He's been so good and so important for Barcelona in the past couple of years, so I definitely hope we don't forget about that. But you cannot make a mistake like that and expect to win. I mean, if you make mistakes like that, and that's okay, you're not going to win anything. Basically, you cannot make a mistake like that ever and expect to progress, because, again, you're playing 60 minutes down a man against one of the better attacks in the world. Yeah, that stuff's going to happen, so really, I feel really bad for Xavi, because I think he set it up. I think he got it all right, and just didn't work out. And defeats like this, especially with the way that it unfolded, I think Laporta, he's not going to be happy at all. He's going to be really disappointed with the team, because they just easily could have went to the semis. And Dortmund, they're a great team. Barcelona, I felt like they could have taken them. They could have went 1v1 against them and did really well and progressed to the finals. I mean, but it's a detail. I mean, it's a small detail. In the 25th minute of the game, Araujo, you cannot try and take him out there. I don't know what the thought process was. I think it's just a really, quick reaction. Like, you can't think that much about it. And obviously it's easy to say now, man, just go away from him. Just don't even touch him. And Araujo, absolutely, he would have done that looking back, but it's just a bad reaction. It's just such a quick movement. I mean, he just probably couldn't think, and that happened. And yeah, that obviously there are no ways around it. That's what cost Barcelona the game because they were in control. They were 4-2 up at home, and then they had to play a man down with 65 minutes to go. And all the players on the field, I think they worked their hardest to make that happen. Cancelo, obviously a big error, and Lewandowski, I just don't know. Maybe he didn't see Joao Felix wide open. And Gundogan, he could have definitely gotten a penalty there. The ref maybe could have made a different decision, but you can't rely on the referee. I mean, these were things that Barcelona could have done differently. It's on them. In my opinion, it's on them. And just with the way that football fans are, I'm sure that Dembele, he's not going to have the easiest time on social media. I'm sure people are going to be slandering him, but Barcelona, they have themselves to blame for him smiling and celebrating. I mean, just don't allow him to do that, and then you'd be happy. I mean, it's basically like, oh, you're upset, so you're just going to blame someone else. I mean, look, Dembele, he has every right to celebrate if he wants to. Obviously, it does suck for Barcelona fans because, I mean, especially me, I always had a special. I was like, man, Dembele, whatever he does, I'm going to support him because injuries are really unfortunate. They're really unlucky, and he has so much talent, so I'm always going to support him. And I think he was a great player, and obviously, so many injuries in the 6 years that he spent at Barcelona. And Barcelona fans, they always supported him. I felt like they were always there was a Courage Dembele jersey that they wore out just to show their support for Dembele. And yeah, it's unfortunate that, he had such a good performance against Barcelona. He scored in both legs, but, don't be mad at Dembele. Be mad at Barcelona themselves. I mean, they have themselves to blame because Dembele, he can do whatever he wants. And, I mean, yeah, he celebrated after he scored, and he was smiling. He was, messing with the fans. But don't give him that opportunity, and that never would have happened. So Barcelona, that's another thing that they have themselves to blame on. And also, Mbappe was terrible over both legs. He was awful. I mean, I'm not going to be gaslit into saying that he was good because he had a brace. I'm sure some people that don't watch the game, some people that just see goals and assists, they'll see that he was good. He was terrible. I mean, Barcelona did so well to nullify everything good that he brought to the table, and Barcelona still could not capitalize on that. And you're playing against the best player in Europe, and he has those performances over two legs, and you still can't capitalize? I mean, that was all the worry from Barcelona fans was, oh, Mbappe, he's the best player in Europe. I mean, I wonder how our defense is going to react. He did nothing. He did nothing. It was just such a simple mistake from a Barcelona player. That's what allowed this to happen. And so Barcelona, again, they set up the game plan very well. I mean, Mbappe, he is the best player in Europe, in my opinion, and Barcelona did so well to defend against him, and he did nothing in the game, but I mean, it's just Barcelona, again, as I've said probably 15 times now in this video, they just have themselves to blame. And I just don't even know how those events unfolded. You'd think 4-2 at home, just don't get sent off. That's the one thing. Just don't get sent off. You can get scored on twice, but then it's an even match against PSG, who I believe Barcelona were better than. And if Barcelona themselves believe that they were better than, which I think they did, don't get sent off. That's the mistake, of course. And I could ramble on about this for hours. I'm sure everyone is also equally as frustrated. It's the games where Barcelona, they could have gotten more, and they have themselves to blame. Those are the ones that hurt the most because, as I said, Barcelona against Bayern in 2019, yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious that Bayern were the better team. I mean, Barca just looked so unorganized, and it looked like they were going to lose. So, yeah, I mean, getting 8 goals conceded on you, yeah, that's tough, but it's the games where Barcelona, they can win, and they should have won. And those are the ones that are just the most frustrating. Because when you're outclassed, yeah, respect to the other opponent. And again, respect to PSG, but Barcelona, they have themselves to blame. They easily could have went on to win this, win the game and maybe the semifinals and maybe the final. We don't know. We're not going to be able to find out this year because of the individual mistakes that Barcelona made. But that's part of the game. It's unpredictable. That's why we all love it, because we don't know what's going to happen. But this loss easily could have been prevented. I think the Barcelona players on the field, they tried their hardest for 90 minutes. I think of Rafinha, who worked as hard as he possibly could, and he was obviously really frustrated at the end of the game. And also, all the Barcelona fans there, they showed up so well before the game. They were cheering the entire game, even when it looked pretty rough. They bounced back in the second half, and then even at 5-4 down, even at 6-4 down, I still saw every single fan still in the stadium, still cheering. So that was really nice to see, and I think that's what Xavi has still brought back to Barcelona. No matter the results, he still brought back that feeling of connectiveness. I don't know if that's even really a word, but just that the feeling that everyone's together again and they believe in Barcelona. I think that's what he still has brought back. And again, maybe some people will clown Xavi for this. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think he set up the team perfectly. Easily could have been a different result had there not been those individual mistakes. Just moving forward after this game, to me, I hope this is a great wake-up call for Barcelona. I hope this shows Laporta that there's work to do in the summer. I think it's going to leave a sour taste for him because he knows that Barcelona, they deserved more, as in they easily could have went on to win this game, but they just have themselves to blame for that. But maybe it's a wake-up call for Barcelona. Maybe I think there's going to be a lot more hunger from all the players, especially the young players like Cubarsí and Lamine Yamal and Gavi, who hopefully is going to be healthy next season. Because these defeats, you just knew that Barcelona had the talent, but it was just those lapses in concentration. I think for Barcelona, they're going to want more next season, and I hope they take this as motivating. They don't, get down for the rest of the season or, maybe have doubts about themselves in the Champions League, because you just felt like when it was 4-2 at home, you were thinking, wow, this is like Barcelona actually going to do well against a really good team in the Champions League. And no offense to Napoli, like they still that was really a great performance and a great showing and great to get that result. But just against PSG, you thought, man, they're actually playing really well. They're set up very well against PSG. They can actually go through to the semis, and then that happened, and obviously it just wasn't meant to be. And I don't know what this means for Xavi. Maybe he's not going to be satisfied. Maybe he's like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm leaving in the summer for sure. It was obviously already reported that he was going to leave in the summer. Laporta has tried to convince him to stay. It seems like Thiago Motta is going to Juventus, and Julian Nagelsmann is probably going to Bayern. So the candidates for the coaching position in the summer, they're kind of going down. A lot of Barcelona fans want Hansi Flick. I'm not 100% on anyone, but for me, the most exciting, replacements for the coach would have been Thiago Motta and Julian Nagelsmann. But Barcelona, they might be running out of time. You got to figure it out. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Xavi's going to stay. I wouldn't mind him staying at Barcelona for another year, just given the change in form. And I don't know. Maybe it's time that Barcelona, it's time for a new era. Maybe they need a new coach. But I don't know. This is it's rough, obviously. There's no way around it. It's really frustrating and just harsh for Barcelona to not go through after performing so well in that first leg and also taking the lead early in this game. And all the players on the field, they 100% wanted this with everything that they could give. They left it all on the field, but it just wasn't meant to be. And getting all of that negativity out of the way, yeah, there were some lapses in concentration, some just terrible mistakes from Barcelona players. But Barcelona, going forward into the next couple years, they have a very bright future. We've seen La Masia coming up huge for Barcelona this season with Cubarsí, Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez, all these players that Mikal Faye, I think, will probably make his debut before the end of the season. I still believe in Barcelona, of course. I hope everyone still does. These results are so frustrating, especially, as I've said, when you deserve more, when it wasn't like PSG were absolutely the better team. It was, I think, very even. Barcelona were very comfortable. Then that happened. Then the red card obviously changed the entire game. Yeah, those things are unfortunate. Those things are frustrating. But overall, the direction that Barcelona is going, I still think it's up. I still think, they did well to get to the quarterfinals. PSG was a difficult draw, but they still could have done so much more. They still could have went to the semis. They still could have possibly made it to the final, and they could have went on to win. But again, I'm talking could have, would have, should have. That doesn't matter. The reality is Barcelona have themselves to blame for this loss, and yeah, you just got to move forward. You got to stay positive, and you still got to believe in Barcelona because I still think they have a very bright future ahead of them. And I haven't even checked really on Twitter. I don't know if people are complaining about the referee. The referee, he made some big calls in this game, some decisive calls, but I don't think any of them, other than the Gundogan call, was the wrong one. So we can't blame the referee, honestly. There have been moments this season and in the past couple of years where the referee, he has decided a game. He's made a bad call going against Barcelona, and yeah, maybe the Gundogan could be seen as one, but just don't give the referee the opportunity to impact the game. Go decide it yourself. Go stay in control. Stay a couple goals ahead, and stuff like that wouldn't happen. So Barcelona, again, they absolutely have themselves to blame for all of this. And I'm sure some people are going to single out Ronald Araujo. I'm trying not to do that in the video. He knows how bad that mistake is. He knows that ultimately cost Barcelona the game. It would have went completely different if he hadn't done that and hadn't made that terrible mistake with 65 minutes to go in the game. But Barcelona is still a team. Barcelona is still Barcelona as a whole, so it's Barcelona's fault. It's not, just one player. There are a lot of things in that game that could have went differently, so But again, I'm sure Araujo knows how bad his mistake was, and obviously that did cost Barcelona the game. We can't, I mean, there are no doubts about that. I might make another video tomorrow just gathering my thoughts and maybe seeing some of the reactions from the players, the fans, Barcelona in general. But yeah, I mean, this is frustrating. It's obviously reactionary, everything that I'm saying. So yeah, it's really frustrating. There are no doubts about it. I've probably said that a lot. I've said a lot of similar things because it's just how those events unfolded. I just was so confused. The whole time I was thinking, is this real? Like, is this actually happening? Were Barcelona really 4-2 up against a great PSG team, 1 foot in the door of the semifinal, and then just that? Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, it's that's part of the sport, though. These things happen. It's anyone can win, and just Barcelona. It wasn't meant to be this year, and you have to look at the positives. I think Xavi has. He's turned this team around in the past couple months. I still think there are a lot of positives there. I think Barcelona's team as a whole, they have a lot of positives, and I think the direction that Barcelona is going is up. I think they have a bright future ahead of them, so I think we should all remember that. And as always, thank you very much for watching my video. I really do appreciate it. Again, as I said earlier in the video, yeah, obviously I'm sure all of us care a lot about Barcelona, and these results, they're obviously frustrating, but in the end, we support Barcelona because whether they win or lose, you still love Barcelona. You still, want to be a part of the club and just everything that Barcelona is in general. So can't be too frustrated. That's life. You got to bounce back and you got to stay positive. And yeah, I still think Barcelona, they're going in the right direction, and I think they have a bright future ahead of them with all the players that they have. As always, thank you very much for watching my video. I really do appreciate it. Visca Barca, it's a difficult result. Barcelona, they easily could have went on to win this game. They could have went on to get into the semifinals, but just wasn't meant to be. And Barcelona, those individual mistakes, they did cost them. I think Xavi set the team up very well. The players gave everything they had, but yeah, Barcelona, they're out of the Champions League. Congrats to PSG. The semifinals are going to be coming up, and I'm not really that interested anymore because of how this happened. But I still believe in Barcelona, Visca Barca, and thank you again for watching my video. I do appreciate it. I hope you all still have a great rest of your day, and thank you very much. Peace.